So I'm going to go through the Ruffwear Knot-a-Hitch tethering system. I had done some research and found this had pretty good reviews, so I wanted to try it out on our last camping trip. So there you can see it attached to two trees, which is usually the typical setup. So here you can see the setup to start with. I'll show you how to connect it in a minute. The carabiner has a swivel on it, which is really the key to the system working so well. So it's a very easy setup. But yeah, our last camping trip I set it up and it didn't take very long, and there you see our dog. It worked well. She got used to it pretty quickly, and we had a 6-foot lead attached to her to the swiveled carabiner. And as you can see, it freely moves back and forth along that rope. And we had bought Ruffwear products before, the harness and a collar for her, and it's pretty durable stuff, so I knew the quality was going to be good, but I wanted to try it out in the field. So here you see there's two trees, and they're roughly 20 to 22 feet apart. The rope they give you is about 36 feet in length, so you can go a little bit longer, but this seems to be a manageable width. So a couple of times she went around the tree but found her way back. She didn't really get tangled up too much, and she liked the system. It took her a while to get used to it for the first day. She kind of said, you know, what's this? I want to be closer to you guys. But it really does a good job of allowing her to go back and forth, and you can kind of control what area you want them to be. I looked at two other trees, but there was some poison ivy in the back there, so we decided on this setup. So I'll go through the unpacking and the setup in a minute. The cord itself, or the rope, is made of almost climber's quality materials. The webbing's really strong. I have no issues with the quality of any part of this system. It's really very strong. So this is what it looked like when I got it. I paid full retail on Amazon, and I was itching to try it out on our first camping trip. And they kind of show you on Amazon, they show you some diagrams and basic setup, but inside the bag itself is all the components you need. So it's all self-contained, which is a real plus. So that back pocket, there's nothing in it, it's just a spare pocket. But there you see the cord and the carabiner and the sewn in instructions on the flap. So that stays with the bag. There's also a paper version of the instructions, but you want to take that out, so because that bag is going to be hanging on the tree for the entire time, and if it gets rained on, that little paper inside will get wet. So here I'm pulling out the section that goes around the first tree, and it has little loops along that section that you'll see that you connect the carabiner to, or the clip I should say. Okay, so pull out your two sections of rope. And there's the two trees. I chose the two in the foreground so she wouldn't wrap herself around the one in the get herself wrapped around too much. So here you see I'm just bringing the strap around, and it has little sewn sections of loop. So just pick one that you can connect to. Try to get as tight as you can, but don't worry about that because you're going to tighten it up in a minute. Okay, so now you're going to run the rope with the hook around your second tree and just clip it in and leave it loose. And you'll see there's a lot of slack in the line, but we'll fix that in a second. So what they have is a little ring just next to the attachment point. So first you want to pull all the excess rope. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. This is the way I figured out to do it, but first you want to get it nice and tight. So pull it through that metal clip, and then you pull the excess through and let it hang down. And there's a little ring there that prevents that extra piece that's hanging down from loosening off. So it's kind of a self-tightening system. So get it as tight as you can. You don't have to go crazy and make it too tight. So there you see the ring that's holding the line taut, and the carabiners there in the middle. And then you're going to want to just wrap up all the extra cord and the strap and put it back in the bag. The bag stays on the line. It's all self-contained, which is something I really like. I also chose red. It's high visibility. You don't want to be walking into this thing. I think in the product description it says it is slightly reflective at night too. I didn't notice that, but I think that's what it was saying. Okay, so I put the strap and the excess cord in there. It has a little button that you can clip shut, and then we left it there for the week, and no worries, I never had to adjust it. So there's the carabiner, and on the top of the carabiner is a swivel, and you can see we're attaching it, and there is also a screw down lock just for extra assurance that the lead is not going to come out of that carabiner. So it's a locking carabiner. And like I said, she got used to it within an hour. So at first she didn't care for it because she was away from us, but once she knew her territory and her range, she was fine with it. So overall, it's a very good system, no complaints. I recommend it for camping trips, or if you're visiting someone and you want the dog in a certain area and you have 2 anchor points. It's kind of meant for trees, but I'm sure you can use other anchor points as well. But yeah, it worked well for the week that we had it. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for checking out the channel, and subscribe for upcoming videos. Thanks a lot.